Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Let me tell you about some exciting events I have coming up. Starting with June 11th, we'll be out at Naked Vine for the Singer-Songwriter Storytelling Showcase, celebrating 1 year out there at Naked Vine. And I've invited along Susie Bassino and Michael Eisenbeis of Find a Drive, and Dustin Brown and Michael Flynn of Waiting for Flynn. So these four writers sitting on stools, sharing stories behind all these songs. And we'll also have some gourmet grilled cheese by Sauce Magazine's Chef of the Year, Matt Glickard, out there. So come hungry and join us at Naked Vine, 7 o'clock start. It's a $10 cover for the show for the evening. So join us. It's going to be a great night. Can't wait to see you all there. If you haven't been by Naked Vine, Brian's running a great spot out there in Chesterfield, serving up all sorts of your favorite wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. Great live music all the time over there also. Stop by and visit them this week. Thursday, they are doing June 6th, they are doing a blues watch party for the Stanley Cup Finals. Stop by and watch the game over there at Naked Vine with them. And then on Friday, June 7th, Les Gruff and the Billy Goat return. And on Saturday, June 8th, Ross Bell Band. So stop by and visit them this weekend. Again, you can find everything at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also want to tell you about a really exciting party I have coming up. I can't wait for this one. On June 22nd, we're celebrating 5 years of Rock Paper Podcast out at Broadway Oyster Bar. And I've invited along Amanda Fish Band, Tony Campanella Band, and Odds Lane. That's a $8 cover for the show. 10 o'clock music starts. And if you haven't been to Broadway Oyster Bar, what have you been doing? You need to go check it out. There's all sorts of great food and cold drinks all night long. It's going to be an incredible night. Can't wait. We'll also have my friend Jessica Hitchcock out there doing some live art throughout the evening. So somebody's going to go home with an original piece of artwork that at the end of the night, and that's going to be really cool. So again, June 22nd, celebrating 5 years at Broadway Oyster Bar. Can't wait for that night. Also want to tell you about my friends at Joseph Meyer Club. Stop by and visit them at josephmeyerclub.com right now, and you can purchase some of their foaming aftershave. And if you use my code RPPJMC20, you can receive an additional 20% off during checkout. I've been using this product myself. I love it. I think it's really wonderful and smells great. So check it out. If you're looking to get some aftershave, check out josephmeyerclub.com. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for all the support. Thanks for listening and telling friends. And over the last 5 years, it's been a wild ride. So let's keep this thing going. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you out there. Have a great day, everyone.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, this is Joe Winze, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast. We got a big show coming up with Madahoochi right here in St. Louis at Delmar Hall, June 14th. It's a Friday night. Get your tickets. Come on out. Thanks for listening, folks.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast, y'all.
Molly says it was a long day. Said it was the wrong day to fly. From Detroit, carried under street lights and signs of doubt. Molly playing chicken with everything, feeling the adrenaline in her heart. Play it loud, life is. Too many years trying to be understood. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. Far away, found her in a driveway, trapped in the lucid dream, paralyzed. Hold it in, don't breathe until the worlds collide, then keeping all the disarray. Civilized, raining in the street with dirty feet, you stand your ground. Cynic serene, climb the mast as the ship goes down. Vitals, your intent, on your flag and on your lips. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. The hardest part is staying amused. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. Too many years trying to be understood. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. Molly, learn from history. The only way to buy what you believe is battle scars. Silence in the comfort of our secret lives. The motives change like tides, and it's ourselves we betray. Raining in the street with dirty feet, you stand your ground. Cynic serene, climb the mast as the ship goes down. Vitals, your intent, on your flag and on your lips. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. Raining in the street with dirty feet, you stand your ground. Cynic serene, climb the mast as the ship goes down. Vitals, your intent, on your flag and on your lips. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. The hardest part is staying amused. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. Too many years trying to be understood. The crazier life is, the crazier life is. Crazier life is, the crazier life is. The crazier life is, the crazier life is.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with Joe Winze outside of Delmar Hall.
And we're looking right at it, too.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, I wanted to say thank you very much, too, for being available for me to come aboard the Rock Paper Podcast train. I'm in. I love it.
This is I got to tell you, this is a first. I've done a couple in vehicles, but this is the first time in a Scion. So proud sponsor of Rock Paper Podcast, Scion.
Yeah, thanks Scion XB. I was just gonna say, I bet you people, if they're gonna walk past this, man, they're probably like, "What the hell are those two guys doing with microphones, staring at each other in the car,
just hanging out, just two
We're
dudes.
singing songs to each other,
right? Doing
They don't know.
some karaoke." That I did do a couple. I've done a couple in the vehicles. I did one, and the biggest one I was pretty wild for me, as I got to hang out in Devin Allman and Dwayne Betts tour bus and did a podcast with those guys.
Awesome.
And that was a pretty surreal moment, getting to I felt like that was a real rock and roll moment.
So was that on a tour bus, or what did they have?
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, well, sorry we couldn't get on the tour bus.
Yeah.
For the Joe Winze podcast.
Right.
But, I can imagine how dank that was.
Sure.
Pretty cool, man.
Well, and of course you're like talking to two guys whose fathers were a big part of my life. Still obviously all that Allman Brothers music and everything. So that was it was a pretty surreal moment getting to sit and talk with those guys.
It's really cool that they're carrying the torch too, and just kind of like reintroducing their vibe too.
Yeah.
And then they're getting up there.
Yeah, they're doing big things.
They're getting up there. They're getting big time, man.
Yeah, man. But
so, congratulations,
for sure,
you guys.
Well, we like I said, we're here. We got a big show tonight, but by the time you hear it, it'll be a little late to plug that one.
Yeah.
But you guys are here. Well, we're doing some Bob Dylan tonight, right?
Yeah. So obviously today's June 1st, and so we're going to be celebrating, Bob Dylan's birthday today at Delmar Hall, along with Brothers Lazaroff, and we also have a momentous occasion happening today. It's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs here in St. Louis, with the Blues against the Bruins. So what they decided to do is, let's go ahead and bunch it all together. Let's go ahead and have a Blues viewing party at Delmar Hall. I think it's like half price drinks till 9 p.m. And then that way they get everybody in the house,
right?
So that when the Blues win, and when you hear this podcast, they will have one
right
after the fact. And they'll have everybody here, and we'll get to celebrate right away with Brothers Lazaroff kicking off some Bob Dylan tunes tonight. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be cool, man. But we got another big party coming up. Excuse me. 2 weeks after that, we got the return of Madahoochi, which is really why we're here today. We want to get into some of that, and of course, just to hang out and talk and get to know a little bit more about Joe. But yeah, this Madahoochi date, let's mention this, June 14th here at Delmar Hall. We'll be back, and I guess you guys are doing this like... This is like yearly show, like, right? Or something like that?
Well, it's been a couple of years since we've actually played in St. Louis, which is why we're hoping that, to get to make sure we let plenty of people know, so that, get the opportunity to come finally see us after playing. But we last year, let's see, we skipped this year's Mo Roots Festival, which is something that Aaron Cam and the One Drops and Nonsense Brothers throw down at where's that at? Sorry. In the Sticks.
Yeah, Steelville or something?
Steelville, yes, sir. And great campground, great setup. And this year we ended up skipping it. My wife and I decided to go to party down in New Orleans instead with Sean Canan during his 40th birthday bash. So what I had to do is I had to kind of make it up to the rest of the guys in the band and say, okay, don't worry, Mo Roots, it's not going to happen here 2019, but give me a second to put something together. I want to see if we can't, throw a show, get the hooch in town. So I was kind of hunting around and landed here at Delmar Hall. They were kind enough to say, yes, let's have Madahoochi here on that date. And when they were open for that date, and this was some time back when we booked it, and I will say that everyone is super professional here with regards to how they push the show. They help out with putting graphics in the right places and helping out with the ticket links and everything else that they need to make sure that the show comes off successful. And that's what I'm excited about, showing Scott and Sean and Beto, the other members of Madahoochi, how pro the team is here at Delmar Hall.
Right.
I don't think they've ever been treated that well anywhere. So when they actually do experience it, I mean, playing's the thing we need to do when we get here. We got to do our job. But they're also going to be able to enjoy how cool, Delmar Hall is, the actual treatment, let's say, you get, as a musician. We're lucky enough to have people that just pay attention to all angles and keep you 100% comfortable with everything you need, coming back and checking on you, letting you know, hey, 15 minutes till showtime, folks. Just letting you guys know we're going to get you ready, or the crowd's going to get pumped up. We're going to turn down the lights, and, So with regards to the Delmar Hall, hats off to them for being such a cool team, and I can't wait to be able to show that to the kids. So, let alone we got some new songs to share. They're here too with a couple, well, I would say a handful of new tunes to share that maybe haven't been played here in St. Louis yet. Mm-hmm. So we're happy to get ready to kind of unleash some of those here while we're here too, and kind of get back to what we used to do. I mean,
and is this just an evening with Madahoochi?
It's just an evening with, we were battling back and forth a little bit with, like, should we find an opener? I mean, I very well could have been one of those things where we could have probably reached out to a number of different groups. Heck, I could have reached out to, not even far to reach.
Right.
And, there's a couple other bands, obviously, I play with too, around town. Falling Fences is one of them, and then also Western States. But we figured, the time allotted for the evening, there's so much we haven't done here in St. Louis that we want to have the full night to kind of share everything that we want to do, So started off with just a couple of different, a full first set and then a full second set to kind of, lengthen things out and jam.
Yeah.
Well,
tickets are available.
Yes, sir.
Man. So grab some tickets and come party with Madahoochi June 14th at Delmar Hall in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's anybody like myself, I'm new to Madahoochi. I know the name. I'm definitely obviously we have many mutual friends that told me lots of stories about Madahoochi and stuff, but I have not been able to see you guys live, and I just listened to the music a little while back, and I know even me and you, we've been friendly for a while now, but this is our first time really properly getting to sit and talk and have a nice conversation. Usually it's at the bar and stuff when we bump into each other. So
right.
Or at a gig or whatever. So it's this is a cool opportunity to kind of get to know a little bit more about Joe and a little bit more about Madahoochi and stuff. So I guess can you take me back a bit? Did you always grow up around St. Louis area, or did you?
Well, from like 5th grade on. Yeah. So that's for me. But with Shawnee, she's been in town, or the whole time. I guess she was born and raised here in St. Louis. But Scott Rockwood, he was born, I think, in Ohio, and then moved to Colorado, and then he came here to St. Louis. Or we all lived in Scott and I lived out in St. Charles County. So I think he moved here in his high school years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Scotty and I met. He came, moved to St. Charles or whatever. And so we got together, kind of hung out because he was a guitar player and I played drums. In fact, we did he played in a in a band in high school during our high school talent show. And me and another guitar player were also in the same talent show. And Scott and his band won the talent show.
All right.
We got second place.
What they play?
So they played American Woman.
All right.
the cover song American Woman, of course. And
the Lenny Kravitz version?
No. In fact, I don't know if Lenny Kravitz had a version yet.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So that if it doesn't show our age, which it must at this point. Cuz we're older, so. But and then me and this other guitar player, Ryan Fierce, came together with some original music of our own, and so that's kind of how Scotty and I met. And then after that, we kind of hung out together a lot, played a little bit of music together, goofing around, through our young years. And he had mutual friends out in Colorado. Good pal, Beto Moreno, used to play music with Scotty in Colorado. So he decided to go ahead and pack up all of his things, throw it in his truck, and then move out to St. Louis. So there you go. There's our bass player, right? So Beto's now the bass player for whatever we were trying to do. But even before that, we had played music with another gentleman by the name of Chad Allen, who is on our first record, Madahoochi Moving On. So that's where you'll be able to find way deep Madahoochi. This is 90s, we're talking 90, the release, I don't know. It's probably, I have the CD somewhere, and let's just say I've got boxes of them, and I don't know how to get rid of them. But no, it's the album itself was done at Webster University Studios with my good friend Eric Rackley, and it was a college project of his to, create a product from being an engineer student. So we were one of his projects, and it just so happened that we wanted to make an album at the same time. So that's kind of the birth, I suppose, of how things came about with Madahoochi, and then Sean Hartung kind of came along. She played in Jesus Christ Superstar as one of the actresses, who Chad Allen at the time, the singer also with Madahoochi way early days, was playing the part of Jesus. Figure that one. Chad's a great guy. I hadn't talked to him in quite some time, of course, but and that's kind of how we met Shawnee. She also played keyboards. Oh, cool. Well, now we have a keyboard player in the band. And then we had, at the time, too, a good friend of ours from way back named Brad Bolch playing some hand percussion with us, too. And years had gone by now, man. And we're talking about, there's kind of a revolving door. We had different percussion players come along, too, to play with us. But Chad Allen had gotten married and had children and kind of moved on and done his own thing. So we were forced to do things as a four-piece. And so we kind of came together on some songwriting, and then we continued to record. We went into the studio again with my friend Eric Rackley at Clayton Studios and recorded the album A Big Bang Medley, which heavily written by Scott Rockwood. This is also during the time in our history where we spent a lot of time in the basement, cutting our teeth, trying to come up with something unique, and with different influencers in our music. I mean, Scotty was kind of deep into Pat Metheny at the time, and we kind of all came from the metal age. Like our influences were like, my influences were like, probably early days like Metallica and some things like that, and then I got into Faith No More real heavy, and that's something that Scott Rockwood and I kind of met eye to eye on with some of the creativity and stuff that we came together with writing songs. And then obviously we get into Fish, and Fish was kind of like a giant, influencer and what it is that how we, just our love for music, and Shawnee was a big Fish head as well, and she kind of traveled the country for quite some time there, following Fish around a little bit. But I don't know if I'm blabbing on too much now or whatever. But oh yeah. So I don't know how to do this. I was just talking to Shane too about, okay, so I've never done one of these before.
Right.
Do I have to stop every 5 minutes to go, June 14th, Delmar Hall, Madahoochi show. Get your tickets now.
Right.
So there you go. That was my plug. So yeah, sorry, I'm going a little deep into the past here, Shane.
No, man. That's exactly what this show's great for, man. Like these long format kind of interviews. It's good for the kind of cover some of the background and the stories and all that stuff.
It's almost too long, dude. You can't really do it like in a 45-minute window. I could keep it. Yeah. It's continuous on how we haven't even gotten to the point where we're driving in Minnesota in our freaking tour van and we're running out of gas, dude. I mean, like there's too many tragedies. Booking agents that shoot us up and spit us out, dude. The story goes deep. I don't know how we want to go deep or which direction we want to take it, but. What was your next question? Sorry, dude.
Well, we, like I said, I just was recently digging into it and started listening to, I really liked In Fantastic Stereo. I was really digging that record a lot. And I guess, and which is available on Spotify and everything. If anybody wants to take a listen, it's all out there. But they have 3 albums on there and a couple of EPs.
Yeah, 2 EPs, a live album, and let's see, there's moving on, Big Bang Medley, In Fantastic Stereo, Live in the Loop, and then the 2 EPs. Mm-hmm. So In Fantastic Stereo was, I guess, our third attempt, our third studio experience. A lot of fun making that. Of course, back when we did, I felt like we're also damn serious about it, whereas like I think later on when we created the last 2 EPs, just less serious about it, and it I think our sound was just more developed, more so to where we wanted it. Mm-hmm. And I think that our heads were more corrected and they're just right in the right place for it,
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
let's drop in a track.
Cool.
Let's you want to start with You're Right?
Yeah, so You're Right was a song I believe written with Scott Rockwood. He kind of put together most of the song. I kind of helped with arrangement, and then we kind of tossed back and forth on how to who's going to sing it, you know? And then so this is my favorite Sean Hartung song. She sings this one. She's the lead gal, and it kind of just with her personality, if you get to know her, it's kind of like a perfect, soundboard for her, for sure.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. You're saying some new stuff. You guys might be breaking out some new stuff at the show here at Delmar. But so is that looking to be a new Madahoochi record, or what are we?
Very good question, actually. So yes, the day after June 14th is June 15th, Saturday. We've hooked up with Paul Niehaus, and we're going to be at Blue Lotus Studios recording. We hope around 3 tunes,
Yeah.
somewhere in that neighborhood. Now, if we're making good time and we're getting done what we need to get done, maybe we hit a 4th in there. So the mindset on this is if we get through another 3, then we can kind of tack together the 2 EPs that we already have that are out there and kind of do like a full round album,
Yeah.
which would be kind of a neat thing to look forward to whenever that might be.
Right.
Don't know. 2025? Not sure. It obviously takes us this long to do anything.
It's going to be Summer Jam of 2025.
Yeah. Get ready, folks. Prep yourselves.
That's definitely one of my favorite spots in town, though. Over the Blue Lotus with Paul. He's got a cool space going and really a great thing happening.
He is the most positive character I think I've ever met with regards to just his attitude towards life, towards music, towards his fellow peers. He's really kind of like a shining light here in town. I think doesn't get enough credit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Paul, you're the best.
Yeah, man, love you, man. That so I guess it's kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about Madahoochi, so like I guess you guys were doing pretty big stuff, though, right? Like, we're like, you guys did touring and stuff.
Yeah, we did a fair amount. So back when, I think probably our heyday, or at times we were hitting it pretty heavy. We were playing, kind of the festival ring, right? So there was the Wakarusa. We did the summer camp. We played 10,000 Lakes Festival and a ton of small festivals that were around here too. For a stint there, we were doing at least 2 times through the summer. We were doing the Swag Stocks down there too, Camp Zoe.
Yeah.
And Jimmy was nice enough to allow Madahoochi to play after the Swag on the side stage, right? So there were a couple stages there. So through the years, after we did a couple of the early ones too, where it wasn't at Camp Zoe, at a couple other campgrounds that they were doing swag stocks at, and lucky enough, we've thanks for him and all of his team over there and Jimmy with what they do. He's invited us along and threw us into the mix somewhere. So really kind of we're happy to get us up on a stage outside in the woods, somewhere deep in the woods, and try it out that way. So we've had a lot of really, really good times, I would say, playing those. And so what we tried to do near the end there of us playing those swag stocks is we would be playing, we'd start at probably 12 midnight or something like that, and then the goal was play till sunup, right? So there was a couple of summers where it was like, well, we can't not play till sun up this year because we did it last year twice.
Right.
And I'm like, God damn, we're going to have to play till the sun comes up? So, okay, now we got to come up with something. So we can't just play everything that we know. We have to, create. We can't just get there and go, here's the song, thank you. Here's the song, thank you. We have to kind of, come up with stuff. And, of course, we do a lot of experimental, things together. We really kind of take things out and jam a little bit. Like I guess that's probably why we were easily pigeonholed into the jam band scene, right? But I would say, happy to do it because it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun jamming. But anyhow, so yeah, we'd be playing and we'd have to come up with something. What are we going to do until the sun comes up? We have to play all this. What was it, 6 hours?
Right.
We had to play for 6 freaking hours, and we didn't take any breaks. It was like one person would have to dip off the stage and go use the restroom real quick, hit the Johnny on the spot, and then come right back on stage. We'd be doing something else in between. So
there you go.
Many stories. That story by itself that's like a 3.5-hour story all on its own. There's a lot there that happened. Let's just say, yeah, there's good times, lots of fun, tons of people that we've known.
Sure,
made lifetime friends.
Jimmy's he's an interesting guy. He just we did the show, I think maybe a little over a year ago, two years ago, maybe, I don't know. I'm terrible at time, but yeah, it was pretty fascinating. I pressed record and let him rip, and he went for like an hour and a half telling me all kinds of swag stories and Camp Zoe, and got into the stuff about going to jail and everything else, and told everything everybody wanted to hear. So it was really again, he was a guy I've been definitely seen around town many times, but it was kind of cool to get his story about all that stuff.
See it from his point of view, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's one of those guys here in town, you know. He's super experienced, you know what I mean? Like uber experienced.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. That well, very cool, man. So again, we got June 14th. Come on out and see Madahoochi live.
That was the plug, wasn't it?
There it is. Every 5 minutes. We got to get it.
June 14th. Get your tickets now.
Let's
Madahoochi, Delmar Hall. Let's do it.
Let's throw in Under Her Sleeve. This is excuse me. Jeez. This is one I picked out that I really was digging. Just fun, man. Like, and this is anything else you want to add around Under Her Sleeve?
Yeah, Under Her Sleeve. This was a song written by Scott Rockwood. So Scott Rockwood came up with the lyrics, and he and I both actually sang on it. I think I sing mostly on it myself.
Yeah.
But Scotty wrote all the lyrics, and it's just rocker. You know, it's one of those songs that, you know, I think we kind of came up with after playing a lot with Spooky Daily Pride, which is a whole other like 5.5 hour story I could tell you about. But you know, Spooky Daily Pride was a band that came in from Boston and played, and after a while his members didn't come down, but he would come down. Spooky would come down with he and his keyboard, and we would do like you know, short stints, you know, for the weekend warriors, you know, weekend warrior shows, like one in Springfield, Missouri at the Outland Ballroom or something like this, and then maybe one here at Cicero's in town. And then so we had a lot of experience with just kind of slamming music with this guy, because it's just kind of his approach to the live music that he wanted to kind of like, I don't know, smash people in the face with, right?
Right.
So we kind of learned how to smash people in the faces a little bit more. And so I think this is kind of like one of those turns that we were making from some of our maybe lighter style of music, and then getting a little bit more into kind of like your rock and roll stuff, and dipping back more into our original, you know, rock and roll feet, right? So yeah, so Under Her Sleeve, yeah.
Give the woman a gun, and she'll win this war for you. Tell her true when the war is over and the guns are down, 'cause she'll fight on and on for you. There's a battle out there every day, and there's something they just won't say, but it's the end of the world. And we know it, we fear it to be, 'cause when they come looking for me, I'll be hiding under her sleeve. Over city streets, killers lurk of a mask of commonality. Devils are playing games, we know it, we fear it to be, 'cause when they come looking for me, I'll be hiding under her sleeve. come looking for me. I'll be hiding under her stay.
I think that's probably why I was particularly digging it, because like I definitely enjoy the more rock,
Yeah.
a little heavier stuff, and so it was.
If you do enjoy the rock, you'll like the 2 recent EPs too. Check those
Yeah.
out. I mean, I know you're listening to some relatively older stuff, but those songs are probably a little more on the rock and roll end of things for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the 2 EPs.
You mentioned Scott writing, and you guys all. I guess you guys all collaborated on writing a lot of these songs.
Yeah, I would say Scotty was probably the one who he does most of the song writing, but I will say that with Shawnee and myself and Beto, I would say towards I don't know what year it was either, but I think Scotty became a little bit more open to maybe some tweaking and stuff with regards to helping with arrangements.
Right.
And he would come up with a ditty. We'd all sit around with it and just churn on it, and figure, what are we gonna do with this? How are we gonna make this more, accessible? Or, Scotty would just come with his dynamite, hook. It's like, well, we got to use this somewhere. Well, what are we gonna do with it? So we'd throw it in the mix. I'd help a little bit with arrangement, but yeah, I would say equally, for us arranging. But Scotty would be the one with the, golden ideas, right?
Yeah.
But I've wrote a few songs, but they're not really worth mentioning, Shane. I don't even remember the lyrics to them half the damn time anyway. Not my strong suit.
Yeah. When do you like? Has it always been there for like when you were playing the early days in the garage and stuff, like to be able to drum and sing? Because like I just feel like that's like, I don't know. I can't do any of that stuff. So like to see somebody that does 2, 3, 4 things at the same time and stuff like is pretty impressive for me.
Shane, I'll tell you, I sucked for a really, 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 really long time, dude. In fact, yeah, don't try to go looking for some of that early recordings. I'm gonna go ahead and say don't do that. But yeah, no, it's just practice like anything else, though. And with my experience too, just singing, it's kind of fun. Like for a good, I would say 10 years, if not more, maybe 12 plus. I was also singing with Pepperland. I was kind of just the lead guy. I wasn't playing drums. I would just stand in front and make a ass out of myself in front of an entire crowd. And yeah, and I'd sing a lot of Beatles songs.
Yeah.
So kind of honed a little bit more of how I approach, singing and playing. But yeah, I would say there's a couple of really dynamite singer drummers that are out there you see around town. One of them is Andy from Andy Frasco. You ever watch Andy Villa sing and play? He's something, dude.
Yeah.
He's got a voice that I think gets hidden because there's just a giant party in front of him because he's back there playing drums.
Yeah.
That boy can sing.
Right.
That boy can really, really, really sing. I would say early days though, big influences for me would be, Terry from the Big Woo. He's also the drummer for the Big Woo, and he can sing really, 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 really well. I always enjoyed his approach to, his songs that he brought to the table and his approach as a drummer and a singer too. You don't see it very often.
Right.
So if somebody's standing up front and just mouthing the words, it kind of looks like that's who's singing. But I'm lucky. I get to hide behind cymbals, dude.
Right. Obviously, Phil Collins comes to mind, Don Henley,
Yeah.
Levon. There's a few that pop out, but
Levon's a giant inspiration as well.
sure.
Absolutely.
It's just, it's like I said, it's sort of a rarity to see somebody, a drummer, sing a lead. Maybe on a chorus or something, but sing a lead on the songs is pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't follow the rock and roll, rule book at all, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
Some people aren't, but I am. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, you get a. Let's mention this. You get to kind of channel some of your inner Don Henley.
Speaking of, yeah.
On July 3rd, you're Sean Canon's Voodoo players are doing Voodoo Eagles that night at Broadway Oyster Bar. So that'll be a fun night for sure.
That's a whole other 9-hour podcast series talking about Sean Allen Canan.
He's a bad dude.
Yep, Sean Allen Canan. Kudos. This is our shout out here to you. Yeah, he's. I've been lucky enough to be included with a couple of these fun Voodoo, Sean Canan Voodoo's player shows, and so yes, we get to do some. Sean Canan Voodoo's shows coming up. Do you want me to list them?
Yeah, let's go ahead and you said Brew Skies. You guys you're playing that one, right?
Yes. So
that's the first one coming up.
That is on the weekend of June 6th and 7th, right? So the Sean Canan Voodoo players, we do Voodoo CCR that late Friday night at Brew Skies Festival. Check out that festival. It's been fun now for a few years. I think we've done Voodoo Dylan 1 year there, and then we did Voodoo Petty last year, and so this year we're going to do some Voodoo CCR. And believe it or not, that's a little more Joe Winze weighted vocals that night. I kind of channel my inner John and get it up there as high as I can, and then I can't talk the next day. And it's so much fun though. I'm so deep seated in that kind of music in my past. The CCR was kind of a big influence on me as well. But yes, then the next day, the 7th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if we're looking at the calendar, right?
Yeah.
Falling Fences, which is also another band I play with Sean Canan, luckily. We play in the afternoon at Brew Skies Festival on that Saturday. So, yep. And then, so right around the corner, we're doing Voodoo Petty June 3rd.
Right.
So that's before Brew Skies. Keep your ears and eyes open. This probably won't even be out by then, but if it does get the chance to sneak out there, go ahead and come down to Broadway Oyster Bar Wednesday, June 3rd. And then, yes, so Shane, you were mentioning the Voodoo Eagles show. If I am not mistaken, I wonder if that is still July 3rd, or I'm sorry, yeah, if that's still July 3rd or not. I know it was in the works. It may not be. I don't want to talk out of turn. It could have very well changed.
Oh, all right. Maybe I misspoke.
We can if you get a second to kind of look at Sean Canan's Voodoo Players Facebook page, you'll have those kind of lined up too.
According to the Facebook event, it says July 3rd. So
see, there you go.
Let's hope that date stays put.
Yeah.
And then we got. Let's talk a little bit more about Falling Fences.
Sure.
This is you guys just recently, a couple months ago, I guess, maybe, or maybe a year. I don't know. I have terrible time. But you guys releasing the new record?
Yeah, just last year.
Yeah.
So luckily at Delmar Hall, it's a fantastic show. I can't remember if it was I can't remember what month it was, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. The album I think is kind of getting a little more circulated out there. I'll still pop on the vinyl here and there just to kind of hear it around the house, and then I'll put it away for a little bit, and I'll just pretend like it never happened, and then I'll try to put it on again and listen to it. But yeah. Fun recording with Will out there in Columbia. Central Cellar Studios is the name of the place we recorded the album, and Will is the bass player for the band Bachman, in which Sean Canan is the guitar player for and the singer for. So. And then So he's got a pretty great place out there in Columbia. What a fantastic experience. He works so brilliantly fast. He really kind of tackles the project as a whole, just as one of the boys, one of the guys. So it's really kind of a fun experience recording the last 2 albums there at Central Cellar.
Nice. Yeah.
Killer.
For sure. Yeah, another great record. So check that out if you're looking for some new tunes. It's all over digitally everywhere, and again,
Spotify,
like
yep.
CDs and vinyl.
Falling Fences too.
Yeah, and you can catch. You sit in every now and then on the Sunday shows. Every Sunday at McGurk's.
So that's Falling Fences does every Sunday at McGurk's. I don't do every Sunday.
Right.
I'll try to squeeze my drums up there, maybe on a holiday weekend from time to time to kind of fill it out and have some fun and have some Guinness pints.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's such a fun. That show every Sunday is just such a fun time, man. It's like everybody's singing along and everything. It just feels good, man.
McGurk's is a special place, and I think that when we get to do our kind of our rounds during St. Patrick's Day and kind of like unleash all the Irish songs that we've had through the year, and we get to finally kind of display them on the tiny stage that it is and get everybody in the right mood. There's something about it it's like a step backwards in the time. I don't know how to explain the magic, but yeah, McGurk's is just such a kind of a, I don't know, it's like you're somewhere else.
Right.
You're not in the middle of the city of St. Louis. You're in outer space somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, I've never been to Ireland or anything, but like that's what I just imagine, like you're saying, the pint of Guinness, everybody singing along, and like Irish old ladies and everything, whatever. It's just like it just feels good, man. Like it just like that's what I imagine in my head is happening in Ireland. So I'm
no doubt.
But
that's our little piece of Ireland.
Yeah, man, for sure. So Falling Fences have a big show on June 30th. You guys are doing the Becky Thacter.
Yes. So June 30th on the Becky Thacter, we hope. As long as maybe the flooding doesn't hold things back. So hope to goodness that when this podcast is out and people are listening to it, that
right.
The water has subsided a little bit more in order for that show to happen. But first and foremost, hopefully, people make it out safe here.
Yeah, for sure. That's been some pretty wild stuff happening right now.
Scary stuff.
For sure.
Brings back memories of '93 a little.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about another project that you kind of touched on there for a second.
Yeah.
But a brand new group, you guys, again with Sean, is Western States.
Yes.
This is you on drums, Sean on guitar.
Yep.
Tim Lloyd on singer-songwriter and vocals and
guitar.
And guitar. Mark,
acoustic and electric.
Mark Hochberg.
Yeah.
On violin and.
You know what's funny about Mark Hochberg? I've never met him.
Oh, yeah?
He plays in another band with my boss. So my boss, Jim Comparato, he plays in a band called Portrait. He's the Kansas tribute band, right? So Mark Hochberg plays with that group, Portrait, the tribute to Kansas.
Yeah.
And Mark Hochberg has recorded all of his parts, and the album's complete now for the Western States, this new group. It's done. It's wrapped up. In fact, he gave me a couple copies just a couple of weeks ago. So the album has been 100% completed, and Mark Hochberg has played on this album, and he's played with my boss's band, Portrait, and I still have not actually officially walked up and shaken hands with him, but he's actually playing June 1st here at Delmar Hall tonight with Brothers Lazarov, because that's one of his other original projects. So tonight, I'm going to shake Mark Hochberg's hand for the first time. I'm going to high-five the dude. I've never even met him.
Yeah.
So I'll explain Western States a little bit. So Tim Lloyd used to play in a band called the Doxies back in the day in and around Columbia, Missouri. So kind of around the early days of Bachman's UFO, when that was kind of all happening, there was some kind of like, I don't know, strings of bars that we were lucky as Madahoochi to play along with, right? So we kind of go back in history here. Turns out that Tim Lloyd lives literally right around the corner from where I live here in South City in St. Louis. And he approached Sean Canan and said, hey, I'm looking to put together some musicians. Who can you mention? He mentioned me. Thankfully, it was like another one of those high five, Shauner. Appreciate you mentioning me. We got to go over to Tim's house, and we just chatted in his kitchen, had a couple beers and just kind of, shot the breeze for a while. And he's very organized about how we came together and practiced. And Mr. Brian Manis out in Columbia also came out to play bass. He also used to play with the Doxies Beck one as well. I'm sure other projects too. But we came together. We put together all of the songs and kind of helped Tim arrange, all of his tunes to kind of make it sound full bandish. He got time at the studio he got time at Sawhorse Studios with Jason McIntyre.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with Jason McIntyre.
Yeah,
Sawhorse.
friend of the show, and one of my favorites, man, because there's so many great records coming out of that studio.
I mean, to me, I've always heard about, Sawhorse. So this studio experience for me was like, it's like candy for somebody who plays music, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like,
Right.
It's like one of those, it was like the most fun that I've had in a studio experience in a really, really long time. Plus, we were laughing our asses off the whole time because Jason's just a hilarious dude. And,
Right.
And as long as we kind of like kept to, schedule, we were kind of punching tunes out pretty well, and everything kind of came out great, and then so that was a very, very fun experience playing all of Tim's songs, and we're really excited to kind of share what that is, to everybody. I don't know, leans on rock and roll pretty heavy. Yes, he's a singer-songwriter. Yes, it's Americana-ish, but there's some punch you in the face, punchy tunes in there.
Yeah.
So members also in the group. So again, I'll mention them. Yeah, so Tim Lloyd's the singer-songwriter. Sean Allen Canan, of course, on guitar. Mark Hochberg does some violin on there, and then also Dave Grelly. So we kind of had some keyboard action there with Dave Grelly on it. And, obviously to me, in this town, he's probably my favorite soloist out there. He's just such a dynamic player. He's just got so much to offer everybody, and everybody wants him, and everybody wants him to be on their project.
Yeah.
And so we've got very, very lucky to get Dave Grelly over to play some songs with Tim Lloyd's music too. So we feel very, very fortunate to have had Mark Hochberg and Tim Lloyd, and it just the whole thing kind of came together really, really nicely, and we can't wait to share it.
Yeah.
July 20th, that is. So we're going to play with, Sorry, Shane. I'm blabbing on now. Oh, yeah, wait. We've come to the time where I have to say, Delmar Hall, June 14th, Madahoochi show. Tickets available still. Get them now. Anyway, back to the show. So July 20th at Off Broadway, we're going to show to kind of play live in front of a group for the very first time. So we've recorded the album, and it's done, wrapped up, completed, and packaged. But we have not played one song as a band live to anyone yet. So we're going to play a show on the 20th of July with Cree Ryder and the Family Band, as well as Funky Butt Brass Band. And then there'll be Western States too. So we're pretty excited to peel that one out and just kind of share what it is that we're doing with Tim.
Sure. Is this, that just seems like the craziest thing, though, like that, to go and do this project, spend all this time, and you have no idea. I'm sure you have an idea, because it's fantastic. I've got to listen to the record.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really good. And
thanks, man.
But with that, as you're playing, like you said, like you don't have any crowd response yet. You have no idea how these songs are going to go over, and you're going to go up there and play them live for the first time in front of a packed house. And
yeah, we should have been doing a bunch of stinky bars first,
right.
And then went into the studio and then recorded. That's how it's always been done, right? But yeah, no, it's the first time that's ever happened.
Is that
in my music, life?
Is that scary for you to think about, or is it?
No, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, right.
It's great.
Yeah, man.
We can actually play the songs that we recorded. That's what's kind of what we're excited about, because it's like we have it. It's here, but like we haven't played it live once.
I think Sean said it's this first time he's ever done anything like that too. Like
first time.
Right.
I'm glad we had the opportunity. I'm really, really happy that Tim made the call to Sean and Sean made the call to me. And I'm lucky to have had the chance to be involved with an original project which could really go places too.
Yeah.
As a 42-year-old in rock and roll.
Well, I would definitely say anybody that loves Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen and that type of rock and roll Americana kind of stuff, like you're definitely this is right up your alley. Like this record's Tim's an incredible writer. Really some good stuff in the lyrics, and you guys just filled out the sounds very nicely. I'm really excited for everybody to hear it, because I was pumped, man. When I first listened to it, I was like, this is right up my alley. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it touches all on the rock and roll bones, for sure. Touches all the feels. Yeah.
So,
Tim's a great songwriter.
Yeah. So check that out again, July 20th, off Broadway. Tickets available now. And yeah, man, this has been a whole lot of fun, Joe. This has been great hanging with you. Let's answer some fan questions before we get out of here, though.
Oh, I can't wait to answer Alex's. I think I have a good idea. I'm gonna say this.
We did open the conversation up to get some fan questions, and we got a few people write in, and Joel writes in, what drummers were your biggest influences growing up? I think we touched on a little bit of
something. Yeah, we did. Growing up, I would say, Lars, from Metallica, early for sure, was kind of like a giant influence. But I'm a child of the Beatles, so Ringo Starr is like one of my giant influences. With me, I don't have really a specific list. I don't have like a specific I've studied Buddy Rich for years, and I knew exactly how he was laying all his paradiddles out. I'm not one of those guys where I haven't focused that hard. You know what I mean? In regards to who my, I guess I didn't nerd out hard enough. I don't know how else to say it. But, but yeah, I would say big influencers were Ringo Starr. For sure. I don't know, man. Yeah. There's so many good drummers out there. There's so many good, influences out there. Like I have a jazz kick every once in a while. I like to listen to a bunch of jazz, or Antonio Sanchez, and there's drummers out there, that'll freak out. But local guys, I would say in recent years that I really enjoy watching playing around town. Kevin Bowers is one.
Oh yeah.
He's just he's such a force. He's such a freak of nature. He's just intense, man. He's just an intense guy to watch, and he's very studied. You can tell. I just like watching professionals do it. I bang on the drums because it's fun, but watching professionals do it, like somebody like Kevin Bowers, or like, another guy who I'm going to see tonight who's going to play, Mr. Grover Stewart. I don't know if you know anything about Grover Stewart, but he is a madman. He's a madman.
Yeah.
Plays with Moe All-Stars, and obviously he's done some stuff with, he's part of the band called The Service with Andy Coco and Pete Lombardo. So he's a force of nature, dude. Check that dude out.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. That we are very blessed to have a lot of incredible players all over this town. So and that's what mentioning Voodoo players, like that's one of my favorite things down there is getting to meeting some of these guys that I didn't know before. So it's a great networking for me also, just as a fan. Like I get to meet all kinds of great players coming through there and stuff. So
oh yeah, Sean's always got somebody new on the on the list.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's obviously great musicians that kind of gravitated towards him too, which is awesome because he can call on people about certain shows. So yeah, we are really lucky to have a lot of this talent here in town.
Yeah, man. That Alex writes in. He had a couple of pretty good ones here.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead, Shane. What do you have to say?
He says, "What's your favorite chicken McNugget sauce?"
Sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour. That's a pretty solid choice there. What was that? Saskatchewan or something? Or, I don't know. It was like a. They kind of made a comeback of recently with Rick and Morty. Like they referenced it or something like that. But I guess it was like, I don't know. It's kind of more of like an Asian sauce or something like that. And then like a
Szechuan sauce or whatever.
Yeah, but
I don't play in that game.
They stopped it, and then so they brought it back on the show. Or they referenced it on the show, and then I guess people were looking all over the internet trying to find it, and like on eBay and stuff, and but I don't know. So, yeah,
I don't play there.
Yeah. So, what's favorite Rocky movie?
4.
4.
Yep.
And
that's it.
Any reason why?
Well, I think it was 3 was Mr. T, right?
I think so.
Was that? I think so. I think it was 3 was Mr. T.
Write in if you be sure to tweet at us and let us know.
I don't know why. I think it was just I was ready to see past Mr. T, I think. I was ready to see Rocky's next best, next best opponent.
Yeah. You watch any of the newer ones, the Creeds and stuff?
No, I haven't seen a one.
Yeah.
I don't know why. The minute I turn on the TV, I fall asleep anymore. I think I'm just too busy with stuff. We try to watch Game of Thrones, and we're on like season 3 right now.
Yeah.
You know, but it's taken us months to get there because as soon as we turn on the tube, you know, we just go to sleep. But gets too much other junk going on if I'm not at rehearsal somewhere, if we're not at a show or something like that, or it's Friday night. No, and we're not playing. Chances are, after putting baby girl, you know, down to sleep, it's just time to go to bed.
Right. I'm with you. I don't get to watch much TV at all. I prefer more live entertainment. So
yeah. I'm
usually out at a show going somewhere. He also writes in one more for you. Lasers or photons?
Lasers, dude. I mean, photons. Come on. No. Lasers all the way.
Get out
of
here.
Get out with your photons. Photons. Yeah, lasers all the way, Alex. That's where my stance is.
Yeah. But shout out to Alex. He's another good buddy. Moved over to Denver.
He's in Colorado, right?
Denver area, something I think.
Yeah, playing piano, entertaining the
things.
locals out there.
So yeah, but hopefully he'll come back. It was right back here a while back. Did some Tenacious D with us on Voodoo.
Oh yeah.
So that was a fun show for sure.
Right.
So, but yeah. Well, Joe, I think it's time to wrap this thing up. We got to get loaded in here at Delmar Hall. Which again,
gotta go to work.
We got a big show tonight, but come on back out June 14th. Madahoochi returns to Delmar Hall, and returns to St. Louis the first time at Delmar Hall.
Yes.
And, but it's gonna be a fun night.
Really excited to see some faces. You know, get your tickets if you can. We would love to see it, and hopefully, you know, we can get the rest of the group up in town a little more often to, you know, make this more of a regular thing. So we're gonna dip back in some older songs, but we got some brand new fresh stuff too for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. And Shane, I want to take a second here to thank you for your time too, since you live all the way out west there, to come down to St. Louis and, you know, do whatever it is that you do here in town as much as you do. And it's kind of cool because you're kind of a beacon out there to let people know about what's happening in town, and it means a lot to people who play music in this town. So I appreciate all that you do.
Well, thank you,
and
sir.
It's one of those things that maybe it's maybe, you know, you don't get enough thank yous. So on behalf of myself and the other musicians here in town, you letting people know about what's happening around here so people can go and they pay their fee, they come in and have a good time and enjoy themselves, thanks to maybe a little bit of a thumbs up from you letting people know about what's happening around town. So thanks for doing what it is you do for Rock Paper Podcast, as well as posting and stuff like that through social media and let people know.
Well, thank you, Joe.
What's the hot thing in town, man?
Appreciate
it.
Yeah, I get it is cool, man. I get especially people really respond to those lists I put up there and stuff, and let people know where all the shows are at in town. And
if I'm missing what's happening, I know where I go, you know, to see what's happening.
Right.
Oh, I got a free night all of a sudden. What's happening? What am I going to do?
Yeah, man.
Check out Shane's post on social media. He'll tell you.
And then that's like fun for me too, because like just one as a fan, but like when I started doing that, and there was only a couple on the list. You know, it was only like 4 or 5 shows on a Friday night.
Right.
And so to see how far the networking has grown out for me personally as a fan, like just that I've met so many other bands like that I was completely oblivious to years ago, you know. So it's like, made so many new friends, and we're very, very blessed in this town with how much great music we have happening every night of the week.
And dude, every once in a while, see your list. It's like sometimes on a Friday or a random Saturday or whatever it is, you got upwards towards maybe 43 freaking events on there or something.
I mean, I've hit 50s and it's almost 60 on some of it's nuts.
I mean,
sometimes
in St. Louis, there's 50 shows going on. It's there's so much happening.
Right.
So
yeah, live music everywhere.
It's great.
But yeah, you can get involved with everything Joe's a part of. We got Madahoochi, Falling Fences, and Western States all on Facebook and stuff. So find all the dates and information on there. And again, you can snag some tickets and come join the party.
Yes. definitely.
But yeah, man, let's. This has been incredible. I say we do it again soon. And
there's so much, dude, that you don't know.
Yeah, we kind of just scratched the surface.
We did,
but
there's so much to tell you.
Right.
So we can't visit every single week, but if we get the chance to again sometime soon, man, let's chat again. We'll tell people about other shows coming up too. We've got Falling Fences. We're going to do a live EP release at Delmar Hall September 6th too. So I want to make sure I'm touching on all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry everybody. I dipped in again, but I got to say it. So yeah, thanks Jane for the podcast time. I really appreciate it.
Happy to help.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, let's go sing some Bob Dylan tunes.
Yeah. It's on.
Yeah. All right, thanks everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.